Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name's Bob, I'll be your host. One of the ways to expand upon games that game companies use is to create player's guides. This allows the characters to have more options for their characters, and more options is usually a good thing until you come up with so many options that it just makes the game far too cumbersome and lengthy. But for the most part, having good options, more options, is a good thing. And we're going to talk about one of those types of books in this video. We're going to talk about the Player's Guide for Changeling the Dreaming, first edition. This book has 190 pages and a copyright of 1996. It was published by White Wolf Publishing, and all the artwork in this book, unlike other books that White Wolf was putting out at the time, is in full color. So let's go ahead and look at that artwork. All of the pictures in this book are in full color. There are several different styles of artwork in this book, but they are all nice to look at. To use this book properly, what you'll need is, of course, this book and a copy of the core rulebook for Changeling the Dreaming, first edition. You'll also need as many 10-sided dice as you can get your hands on. This book has lots of new options and information for your Changeling the Dreaming game. In first edition, in all of the White Wolf games, merits and flaws were not a part of the core rule books. So they added the merits and flaws systems in the player's guides for each of their games. In this book, you'll find merits and flaws for psychological, mental awareness, aptitudes, supernatural, changeling society, mortal society, and physical merits and flaws. Merits and flaws are used to round out and shape your character in character creation. A merit you buy with freebie points, and it gives your character some kind of bonus to their character creation. A flaw is a negative thing that affects your character during the game. And when you choose a flaw, it gives you some extra freebie points to spend at character creation. And that's pretty much all they do. There are one of the things I had a problem with in the merits and flaws system was there's so many flaws people would choose, and then they'd never come up. Ever. Wouldn't hinder their character at all. And the merits that people would choose seem to be disproportionate to that and really sway the game in weird ways, but that's just a pet peeve of mine. But otherwise, it's a pretty good system, and it added a bunch more enhancement to your characters with its problems. This book has some new abilities for your characters to choose from, and they're pretty neat. There's a good list in here of them. There are also new legacies that your character can choose from, and new backgrounds. Of course, backgrounds in this is only one background, and that's companion. It also has better descriptions and layouts of each and every one of the keys. In the core book, each of the keys have a 2-page spread for each of them. In this book, it gives each of the keys a 4 to 5 page spread with a lot more information, and it's pretty good. You can really learn about a lot more about your keys in this book than you could in the core book. Then we get into something really neat. This book has some brand new changelings for you to choose from. There are 13 brand new changeling keys in this book, but all of them are Native American themed. And it has lists and statistics for each of them in here, and it's pretty cool actually. It tells about how the whole society for the Native American changeling works, and their history, and how they interact with the other changelings, that are presented in the core book. And usually it's not very good, but, it just depends on how you wish to run the game. And they have their own legacies that are slightly different from the Changeling, regular Changeling. Instead of being Seelie and Unseelie, you've got the summer legacies, the winter legacies, and the mid-season legacies. And that's pretty cool that they kind of got their own thing. This book also has some new arts and realms for your changelings, so you can cast new cantrips, which is cool. It's got ideas for how to play your character, a few story ideas, and in the back of the book, it's even got a more detailed layout for the Autumn people, and that's very useful because you always want Autumn people around. And that's pretty much all I got to say for that right now. Brings me to 3 questions. Would I play a character using the information in this book? If I was going to play in Changeling, yes I would. There's a lot of neat information to add to your game from this book. Would I use this book in a game I run? Absolutely. There is, like I said, there is a lot more options in here to enhance your game. Would I recommend this book? If you're going to play Changeling, the Dreaming, First Edition, this book is more than useful to have. It's almost a must-have. And I've used it in my Changeling games when I run Changeling. Of course, my Changeling games didn't go very good because they were over after the first or second session. But still, this book provided a lot more information. And that's pretty much all I got to say for Changeling the Dreaming Player's Guide, First Edition. Thank you for joining me at this look at this book, and hopefully you'll join me next time where we'll talk about something else. Bye.